Sometimes I sit down and think about how strange it is that many of us grew up hearing only one version of African history. Like, whenever Africa is mentioned, it's always slavery, poverty, war, and hunger. But nobody really sits us down and says, wait, before all of that, Africa was already great. And honestly, that realization changed how I started seeing myself. So, welcome to Africa Beyond Chains. We are here to talk freely, to think deeply, to laugh sometimes, and most importantly, to reconnect with who we are. Whether you are African, Caribbean, Black, American, mixed race, or just somebody curious about Black history, you are welcome here. This is a space for all of us. You see, one thing I've noticed is this: a lot of Black people know the story of slavery, but many don't know the story before slavery, and that really matters. Because if the only thing you know about your ancestors is suffering, eventually you start seeing yourself through pain alone. But our story did not start in chains, and that's a big problem. Many of us were introduced to our history from middle of the movie and not the beginning. Think about this for a second. Before Europe became powerful, before America even existed, Africa already had civilization, and I mean real civilizations, kingdoms, trades, knowledge, architecture, and culture. Human being literally began in Africa. The first humans to walk this earth came from African soil. That alone should already tell you Africa is not some left behind continent people try to paint it as. Africa is the beginning and the original home. Can we talk about ancient Egypt for a second? Because the way people try to separate Egypt from Africa always makes me laugh a little. Because Egypt is in Africa. Those pyramid people fly across the world to go and see. Africa built them. Till today, scientists and engineers still study how those structures were built. And imagine this: they built those things thousands of years ago without modern technologies, no cranes, no modern machines, but yet they created structures that still stands today. And that is brilliance, that is intelligence. And Egypt wasn't even the only great civilization. There was the Mali Empire, the Songhai Empire, the Kingdom of Kush, and the Great Zimbabwe. And then there was Timbuktu. Now, today, people use Timbuktu like it means somewhere random or forgotten. But back then, Timbuktu was one of the biggest centers of learning in the world. People traveled there to study mathematics, astronomy, medicine, philosophy. Africa had universities while some parts of the world were still trying to figure themselves out. And I'm saying all of this because I want people listening to truly understand something. Black history is not small. African history is not empty. We were never just victims. Thank you for spending this moment with me.